Hello, I'm Neha Wadekar. Today I'm going to discuss about the governor of the state, who is the nominal executive of the state. In this lecture, I will discuss about the articles related to the governor, conditions of the office of the governor, his powers, and especially his discretionary powers which make the governor different from the president as a nominal executive. And lastly, we will discuss the role of the governor. Students, first we will try to understand the structure of state executive. We have applied the parliamentary form of government at the national level and the same at the state level. The executive at national level is composed of president as the nominal executive and chief prime minister and his council of ministers as real executive. And you see the counterparts of both at the state level, that is counterpart of president is governor at the state level who is nominal executive, and counterpart of prime minister and his council of ministers is chief minister and his council of ministers as real executive at the state level. Thus, the state executive is composed of governor as the nominal executive and chief minister and his council of ministers as real executive. Students, now you are able to see on the screen some of the important articles which are related to the governor. Article 153, according to which governor is the constitutional head of the state government. Article 154, according to which executive powers are assigned to the governor. Article 155, the governor of the state is appointed by the president. And according to Article 156, he holds office at the pleasure of the president. Students, now we will go through the conditions of the governor's office, which are related to eligibility, appointment, and term of the office. The eligibility of the governor's office is explained in the Article 158. Firstly, he should be the citizen of India. Secondly, he should have completed 35 years of age. And thirdly, he must not hold any office of profit or must not be member of the legislature of the union or the state. Article 155, which is related to the appointment of governor, explains that firstly, the governor of the state must not be elected but appointed by the President of India and holds office at the pleasure of the President. Secondly, normally there shall be a governor for each state, but an amendment of 1956 makes it possible to appoint the same person as the governor for two or more states. Article 156 is related to the term of the office of the governor. Normal term shall be 5 years, but it may be terminated earlier by firstly dismissal by the president at whose pleasure he holds the office, and secondly by the resignation. Students, now we will discuss the powers of the governor. The governor has powers like firstly executive powers, second legislative powers, third judicial powers, emergency powers, veto powers, ordinance making powers, and discretionary powers, which we are going to discuss in detail. Let us discuss the executive powers of the governor. Governor appoints the chief minister and also he appoints the council of ministers on the advice of the chief minister. Apart from this, he has the power to appoint the advocate general, the state election commissioner, and the members of the state public service commission. The ministers and Advocate General hold office during the pleasure of the Governor, whereas members of the State Public Service Commission cannot be removed by him. They can be removed only by the President on the report of the Supreme Court and in some cases on the happening of certain disqualifications. However, Governor performs these functions according to the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers with the Chief Minister as its head. Legislative powers of the Governor. As regards the legislative powers, the Governor is a part of state legislature just as the President is a part of Parliament. He has a right of addressing, sending messages, and of summoning, proroguing, and dissolving in relation to the state legislature just as President has in respect of the Parliament. Governor also has the power to nominate members of the Anglo-Indian community to the Legislative Assembly of his state if he is satisfied that they are not adequately represented in the assembly. But while President can nominate 2 members, Governor can nominate only 1 member. As regards the upper chamber of the legislature of the state, that is the Legislative Council, Governor has the right to nominate 1/6 members from the persons having special knowledge or practical experience in respect of matters such as literature, science, art, and social service. Once again, in real practice, the Governor does all this on the recommendations of the Council of Ministers headed by the Chief Minister. A bill passed by the state legislature becomes a law or act only when the Governor gives assent to it. In case it is not a money bill, the Governor holds the right to send it back to the Legislative Assembly. But if the Assembly sends back the bill second time, then he has to sign it. Financial powers of the Governor. The annual financial statement of the state is presented in the Legislative Assembly with the consent of the Governor. Moreover, no money bill can be introduced in the state legislature without the prior recommendations of the Governor. The demands for grants also need the recommendations of the Governor. Governor has control over the state contingency funds. Judicial powers of the Governor. Governor has no power to appoint judges of the High Court of that particular state, but he is consulted by the President in appointment of them. Governor has powers regarding appointment, promotions, transfers, etc. of the district judges in consultation with the state high court. He appoints people to the judicial service of the state other than the district judges in consultation with the State Public Service Commission and State High Court. Under Article 161, the Governor has the power to grant pardons, reprieves, respites, commutation, and remissions of punishment of a convict against any law relating to a matter to which the executive power of the state extends. Emergency powers of the Governor. Governor has no emergency powers in case of situations arising from foreign aggression as the President has under Article 352. But under Article 356, he has power to make a report to the President whenever he is satisfied that a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried out in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, and to invite the President to assume to himself the functions of the government of the state or any of them. This is popularly known as President's Rule. During the situation of President's Rule, executive powers of the state get concentrated in the hands of Governor, which he exercises in accordance with the instructions received from the President. Thus he becomes the agent of the Union government in the state. in such cases. Veto power of the governor. Governor has a veto power in regard with the bills passed by the state legislature. Governor is open to take any of the following steps with regard to the bill submitted to him after passage in the state legislature. Firstly, he may give his assent to the bill, and in such situation it would become a law at once. Or, secondly, he may declare that he withholds his assent to the bill, in which case the bill fails to become a law. Or thirdly, in case of bill other than money bill, he may return the bill with a message. Fourthly, he can reserve a bill for consideration of the president. So these are the veto powers of the governor in regards with the bills passed by the state legislature. Ordinance making powers of the governor. Under Article 213, governor is assigned with the ordinance making powers in the following respects. The governor shall have this power only when the legislature or both the houses thereof are not in session. Secondly, it is not a discretionary power but must be exercised with the aid and advice of his ministers. The ordinance must be laid before the state legislature when it reassembles, and it shall automatically cease to have effect at the expiration of 6 weeks from the date of reassembly, unless disapproved earlier by that legislature. Fourthly, the governor shall be competent to withdraw the ordinance at any time. And fifthly, the scope of ordinance making power of the governor is coextensive with the legislative powers of the state legislature and shall be confined to the subjects in the list 2, 3 and the schedule 7. Discretionary powers of the governor. We will here discuss in little bit detail the discretionary powers of the governor, because these powers make the governor as nominal executive different from the president as the nominal executive. We have applied the parliamentary form of government at the union and the state level, where we find two executive heads, nominal and the real. President and governor are the nominal executives at union and at the state level respectively. Though we find similarity in the powers of both, the governor office differs from the president in respect of one important power, that is discretionary power of the governor, which also makes difference in the relationship between the governor and his ministers and that between the president and his ministers. There is no mention of discretionary powers of president in the Constitution of India. However, Article 163(1) authorizes the governor to exercise some functions in his discretion. In the exercise of his discretionary functions, he will not be required to act according to the advice of his ministers or even to seek such advice. If any question arises whether any matter is or is not a matter on which the governor can use his discretion, the decision of the governor is final. His discretionary powers can be discussed as follows, as you can see on the screen. 1. Paragraph 9(2) of the 6th schedule provides that the governor of Assam shall, in his discretion, determine the amount payable by the state to Assam to the district council as royalty accruing from licenses for minerals. Secondly, Article 239(2), which was added by the 7th Amendment Act 1956, which authorizes the president to appoint the governor of a state as the administrator of an adjoining union territory, and provides that where a governor is so appointed, he shall exercise his functions as such administrator independently of his council of ministers. That is, he is not needed to take advice of the Council of Ministers as regards the administration of this adjoining union territory. Besides these discretionary functions, Constitution has assigned him with some special responsibilities which practically means the same thing as his discretionary functions. Because though in case of special responsibilities he is to consult his council of ministers, the final decision shall be in his individual judgment, which cannot be questioned in any court. Such functions can be discussed as shown on the screen. Firstly, under Article 371 2, Governor of Maharashtra and Gujarat have a special responsibility for establishment of development boards for certain areas in their respective states such as Vidarbha, Marathwada, Saurashtra, Kutch. Under Article 371A 1B introduced in 1962, the Governor of Nagaland have similar responsibility with respect to ensuring law and order in that state as long as internal disturbances caused by the hostile Nagas in that state continue. Thirdly, according to Article 371C1 as inserted in 1971, empowers the President to direct that the Governor of Manipur shall have special responsibility to secure the proper functioning of the Committee of the Legislative Assembly of the state consisting of the members elected from hill areas of that state. Fourthly, Article 371FG inserted by the Constitution Amendment 36th Amendment Act 1975 imposed a special responsibility upon the Governor of Sikkim for peace and an equitable arrangement for ensuring the social and economic advancement of different sections of the population of Sikkim. And lastly, Article 371H A assigns special responsibility to the Governor of Arunachal Pradesh with respect to law and order. Thus, these are the special responsibilities assigned to the Governor, which in practice he performs in his discretion. Apart from these discretionary powers and special responsibilities, Governor also acts in certain matters without the ministerial advice according to the circumstances, even though they are not specifically mentioned in the Constitution as discretionary functions. This can be discussed as shown on the screen. Firstly, reservation of a bill for reconsideration of the President. It is according to Article 200. According to Article 356, while making a report to President about rise of situation in which the government of the state cannot be carried out in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and recommending President's rule in the state. Thirdly, some situations in relation with the working of the government of the state, such as 1. When no party gets clear majority in the Legislative Assembly. 2. If the appointed Chief Minister fails to prove majority. And 3. When the present Council of the Minister loses the confidence of the Legislative Assembly. In all these situations, the Governor acts according to his discretion. Students, thus, because of his discretionary powers, the office of the Governor differs from the President. However, in case of rest of his powers, Governor has to act according to the advice of the Council of Ministers, headed by the Chief Minister. Friends, after going through the powers of the Governor, you must have observed that Governor of the state has to play a dual role. That is, firstly, he is the constitutional head of the state, and secondly, he also acts as a bridge between the center and the state. As a constitutional head, he heads the state legislature and executive. As president, heads the Parliament and the Union Executive. However, both are nominal executives and act according to the advice of the Council of Ministers. Secondly, Governor acts as a bridge between the center and the state. He keeps informed the President about the state affairs. However, from the exercise of his powers, in practice, he is acting as the agent of the center. Thus, after going through this discussion, you must have got idea about the office of the governor, his powers and role. For further references, you can refer to the books of the Indian Constitution, Indian polity, and the government and politics in India. So friends, bye for now.